Welcome back. Tamil cinema and politics are said to be conjoined twins. Now another Tamil superstar makes his political intentions clear. After Vijay announced his party and speculation and anticipation over what his political debut is going to look like, now he's made it very clear what his mission is. Earlier today, actor Vijay unveiled the flag and anthem of his party TVK. He stated that the flag that features bands of red and yellow with two war elephants symbolizing people's force, a flower that represents victory. It holds a historic significance to be detailed out at the upcoming state conference along with party principles and action plans that he has. The actor enjoys a massive fan base across Tamil Nadu and beyond. He made it clear that he intends to contest the 2026 Tamil Nadu Assembly elections, signaling his commitment to making a serious impact in the state's political arena. Now, while Vijay's party did not participate in the recently held Lok Sabha elections where the DMK-led alliance emerged victorious, the launch of TVK is seen as a strategic move aimed at the upcoming elections. But will that be a blockbuster, or will he fizzle out like many other actor-turned-politicians in the state? All eyes will be on how Vijay positions himself, whether or not he can galvanize his fan base into a political force. Can he deliver that political blockbuster, or is this an already saturated field as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned?
நமது நாட்டின் விடுதலைக்காகவும் நமது மக்களின் உரிமைகளுக்காகவும் தமிழ் மண்ணிலிருந்து தீரத்துடன் போராடி உயிர் நீத்த எண்ணற்ற வீரர்களின் தியாகத்தை எப்போதும் போற்றுவேன். நமது அன்னை தமிழ் மொழியை காக்க உயிர் தியாகம் செய்த மொழிப்போர் தியாகிகளின் இலக்கை நிறைவேற்றும் வகையில் தொடர்ந்து பாடுபடுவேன். இந்திய அரசியலமைப்பு சட்டத்தின் மீதும் இறையாண்மை மீதும் நம்பிக்கை வைத்து அனைவருடன் ஒற்றுமை, சகோதரத்துவம், மத நல்லிணக்கம், சமத்துவம் ஆகியவற்றை பேணி காக்கின்ற பொறுப்புள்ள தனி மனிதராக செயல்படுவேன்.
Let me open this up. Vijay Madhuvanti, BJP leader from Tamil Nadu, joining us. Pularao, senior journalist, author and analyst Suman C. Raman joins us as well. Let me get in the BJP first. Ms. Madhuvanti, do you think the actor is going to get any sort of political backing, any sort of force that comes out of Tamil Nadu?
Good evening, Poonam, and good evening to my fellow panelists as well. There is a lot we have to wait and watch. Well, he has plunged, he has taken the plunge, and he has finally launched his flag and his symbol and all of that today. And it takes a lot of hard work to doing that, because it's not that easy to start a party. And then we have to wait and watch and see if this sustains. Now, that is something we'll have to see only based on how he fares in 2026, how his party is going to be formed. Is he going to have booth level cadres? Because just by having a fan following or a fan base, you can't win elections, not in today's day and age. So we need to wait and watch for many things. What his ideology is going to be, what is he going to say in that huge event that he is planning to conduct very soon. But right now he is going to be preoccupied with the release of his film, which is going to be happening in a matter of 10 days time. So there is a lot we have to wait and watch, and you can't write it off. At the same time, you can't say that he's going to make a great impact either. There is a lot that we have to wait and watch.
A lot to wait and watch out for, especially given the track record. Suman C. Raman, we've seen several such actor-turned-politicians, Kamal Hassan being the most notable example perhaps, where you can't really convert your popularity as an actor or as a film star into what your political party would get.
Absolutely. And I think, as Madhuvanti said, it's way too early. Right now, all we have is a flag, a pledge which sort of makes all the right noises, which talks about secularism, being against caste inequities and being, faithful to the nation and upholding the cause of the Tamil people, the language, I mean, it's standard stuff. Every political party is saying the same thing, and of course, anti-corruption. So all this is standard, operating procedure of all political parties, which they put in their manifestos and so on. Now, the point really is, today people were expecting that perhaps there would be a longer speech where he would possibly lay out at least, which side of the political fence he stands on, what his ideologies are. Instead, we got all of about a 2.5, 3 minute or 5 minute speech where he said that, in due course, all these things would be told. So I think that the jury is still very much out on what kind of impact he is going to make. One thing we know for sure, that throughout the day, it's sort of been quite apparent that those from the ruling party seem to have been quite discomfited with his entry and the event which happened today. So we've had, sympathizers of the DMK, as it were, going hammer and tongs. There was the story that the BSP has now decided to challenge the flag because they have the elephant symbol. Then there's also the story that the car he came in actually had a fine pending on it. And then there was another story saying that the flower which he claims to have on the flag, that image is not that flower, it's actually another flower. Okay, so, and of course there were the repeated videos of him sort of brushing aside his mother's hand and walking away. So I think that there's been a very, judging by the opposition that that he has sort of seemed to have stirred up today, mostly from the ruling party's side. I think that they at least are getting a little nervous about his entry. They feel that potentially the DMK vote could take a little bit of a hit if Vijay actually manages to make an impact. But as I said, it's way too premature for us to actually put any firm predictions on this.
Pulara, is the DMK in an uncomfortable situation? I mean, whether or not the popularity translates into votes and then translates into seats, we don't know. But it's bound to eat away into someone's share. Is the DMK worried it's going to be theirs?
No, DMK is in power. Naturally, it will be worried when somebody new comes in. The formula, the algorithm, anything may be upset, naturally, because it's in power. But the other thing which I think is, he's a very brave man, to start a party in Tamil Nadu by himself. A lot of other brave men have backed away. Rajinikanth, and after a kind of feeble effort, even Kamal Hassan has backed away. So he's a very brave man. But as he is coming from the film world, and I've observed people from the film world, NTR, Chiranjeevi, and Pawan Kalyan, they are very shrewd. They know public pulse. They're next to politicians or more than politicians. They've always got their hand on the public pulse. Don't forget that. They know what the public thinks. They know how to appeal. I would imagine, to give him credit, that he's got 20, 25 years experience on the film world. Perhaps he has calculated all the risks also. Perhaps he feels that he may not win this time, that time. But one thing, to speak objectively, is that will he have the stamina? 2026, whether he wins, whether he loses, will he carry on? You see, Pawan Kalyan carried on. His brother Chiranjeevi wound up a shop after, he did very well in his election 2009. NTR gained one go, he came to power. So, the main thing is, will he have the stamina for the long trip? Or will he just say, no, 2026, they voted for me, they didn't vote for me, bye-bye. So that characteristics of his, we have to see. That will be tested. And as I said at the beginning, or in some other places, there are 20 active parties in Tamil Nadu. Andhra has 3 main parties now, regional parties. Karnataka has 3. North Indian states, Madhya Pradesh and some of these North Indian states have 3 parties, 2 parties. Here, Tamil Nadu, I would say there are 20 active parties, 2 communist parties, regional parties, that party, Muslim party or Hindu party. So therefore, it's very difficult to find space. But then again, a good product will always get shelf space. So we have to see, as my 2 friends have also said, time. But he's definitely a courageous man, to say I'm going to embark on this journey, where there are mighty parties there who have been ruling from 1967. And before that, the Congress party. All of them are there. So what is his ambition? Who has advised him? Who are his advisors? Did they suddenly come out? I don't think that has come out of the open. Day by day, we'll come to know. But it's very, there's going to be a lot of interest all over the country. They've been talking about this because he is a superstar in that state. But he's courageous and he faces a lot of obstacles. DMK has been there for nearly 75 years, I think, and in power from 67 off and on. They're established. Same thing with ADMK till a little while ago. BJP and Congress are national parties. You see, just to run an office in a district is a very big task. It's a very expensive task. Just to run, it's not just like the old days where, 50, 60 years ago, Congress party and your Gandhi cap, that was enough. The whole world has changed. Politics has become corporatized, I think. So many things have to be done this way. So has he calculated all of this? I don't know.
But at whose expense would that calculation come to the fore? That's really the big question. And Madhuvati, the BJP is recently ally-less, so to say. At least a big ally of yours recently walked away. Are you foraging for new allies? Would that be something that you find in Vijay's party?
That's not for BJP to go look out for. It's for Vijay to look out for. BJP, like Mr. Pullarao rightly said, is a national party. We never asked anybody to leave. We never begged anybody to come back inside. People left on their own. People came back on their own. So we are not talking about going with a begging bowl and asking people for joining us as allies. We form strong ties, and that is what politics is all about. You might be an ally this time, but for the next election, the whole table will turn. We've seen that happen, haven't we? In Tamil Nadu and other states also. So all this again, I think, is a very, very premature stage to talk about whether Vijay is going to ally with BJP. We don't even know what the ideology is. So where is the alignment coming into the picture? So it's very, very premature. Like Mr. Raman rightly said, we just heard a 2-minute speech and a flag was hoisted. There's nothing else that has happened today other than the media and everybody going gaga goo about the whole thing the whole day, and rightly so, the ruling party getting slightly rattled about the fact that he has actually taken the plunge. Because until now everybody thought he's making an announcement and it's going to go with that. But he's actually launched a flag and given out a pledge and brought out his symbol. So he means business. But what it's going to turn into is something we all have to wait and watch.
Sure, but Sumansi Raman, given what's happening with the AIA-DMK, do you think that's a space that Vijay's party could look at? Because as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, over the last few years, the last few decades, we've seen this toss-up between the two dominant parties. But the AIA-DMK seems to now not be on as much as a strong footing as it was, or as a strong footing as the DMK seems to now be, especially post the 2024 elections. So is that the space that perhaps he could occupy?
No, it's very unlikely, because see, Vijay's fan base is predominantly in the age group of those below 35. So from a voting perspective, you're talking of people between the age group of 18 and 35 who are, likely to be Vijay voters. The AIADMK voters typically, and to a large extent DMK voters also, tend to be slightly older, right? So there is a regional party called the NTK, or the Nam Tamizhaga Vetri Kazhagam, which is Tamil Nationalist Party, and they have got a huge voter base of almost entirely of youth. So they will be hit quite hard by Vijay. The second party which could be hit hard is the DMK to some extent, because the sum of their minority voters could be wooed potentially by Vijay as well. So at the end of the day, it's going to be extremely difficult for us to predict. I think the next big event is going to be the party conference, which is scheduled to be held in a few weeks' time. And then hopefully we will understand what Vijay stands for, what are his programs and policies for Tamil Nadu. All of that needs to come out in the public domain. This is those days where an actor could come, wave at the audience from a balcony and win. That is history now. I mean, Tamil Nadu. Look, nobody in Tamil Nadu, not MGR, not Jayalalitha, won just because they were actors. MGR was in politics for 15 years before he became chief minister. Jayalalitha was in politics for 10, 12 years before she became a chief minister. So this whole argument that you're a movie star, you have lots of fans, you come and make an appearance and everybody votes for you. Sorry, it has never happened in Tamil Nadu. MGR was a member of the DMK for 15 years before he actually broke out on his own, formed his own party, and then came to power. So this whole argument that movie stars, oh, Tamil Nadu will immediately vote for them, it doesn't work.
Also, whether he manages to keep that steam, 2026 is still far away. That's one of the things that we'll have to watch out for. I have to leave it at that. I thank you all for joining us here on this broadcast. Of course, we'll keep tracking the developments as they take place in the run-up to the Tamil Nadu elections. Before now, we are shifting focus, and this is concerning India's crackdown on terror. Today, the special cell of Delhi police busted an Al-Qaeda inspired terror cell that was planning to execute terror activities within the country. According to exclusive inputs by CNN News 18's Manoj Gupta, sources within the intelligence agencies, we've now found out that Delhi police dismantled this terror cell. It was a joint operation with the state police forces of Jharkhand, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh. There were 14 individuals that are now being looked at, 6 are from Rajasthan, 7 from Jharkhand, 1 from Uttar Pradesh. They've all been detained for allegedly their link to a certain group, which seems to be inspired by the Al-Qaeda module. As per reports, the mastermind of this entire group was trained by Abdul Rahman Katki, who was arrested in 2015 and arrested in an Al-Qaeda ISIS case. He's presently in jail. Abdul Rahman Katki was a close associate of 2611 Mumbai attack mastermind Abdul Rahman Lakhvi. There is also a connection as far as who this mastermind is. He is an AIMS radiologist. He is believed to have masterminded this group of 14 people, radicalized them and tried to whip up the sentiment of carrying out terror activities across the country. He is an MBBS and MD radiologist. He is running a clinic in Ranchi. He was reportedly preparing to execute a series of high-profile terror activities that were aimed at what they claim establishing a khilafat within India. They were connected on secure platforms, mostly on telegrams or Signal. They wanted to create an AI sham in the outskirts of Ranchi where they wanted to impose the Sharia law, or that's what they thought was their intent. They were also in the process of developing their capacity to fabricate weapons. This is what we've learnt. But a shot on the arm, of course, coming in for India's fight against terror with the arrest of these 14 people. The bigger nexus, of course, will be probed. But this is not the only exclusive news break that we have for you here on The Right Stand. As far as China is concerned, India has to be wary of both what's happening on our borders and otherwise. China's growing footprint in Afghanistan are also concerning. As per exclusive inputs by Manoj Gupta, China may soon become a major concern not just for India but for the world, because Beijing looks to harness its business interests in Kabul as far as connectivity, security and access to natural resources is concerned. They've been shunned globally since Taliban's takeover, but Afghanistan has been struggling for finance ever since. Though the country gets aid from the United Nations every week, the fragile economic situation and fight on terror needs more support from the world community. Is China that friend? Is China now warming up to Taliban? That's what we're trying to get in. China wants to increase its footprint in Afghanistan. They've recently hosted the Afghan ambassador in Beijing. Remember, China is the only country that shows any interest in Afghanistan. China has urged the Taliban and Pakistan to settle this TTP issue. As far as improving ties between China and Afghanistan is concerned, that is a worry, not just for India, like I said, but for the entire world. And everyone needs to look closely, watch these developments very closely and see where they go. Now, why exactly does China need Afghanistan? Chinese interests as far as Afghanistan are concerned are mainly business related. They want to focus on connectivity and on security. China is aiming to access Afghanistan's natural resources. They want the Taliban to continue with the 2016 BRI Pact. It also ensures safety of Chinese workers in Afghanistan. Remember, several Chinese workers bordering areas of Pakistan and Afghanistan have come under attack. All those employees who've been working as far as the BRI project goes. Good Pakistan-Afghanistan ties works well in China's favor. There's zero hindrance as far as the CPEC is concerned. Now, China and Afghanistan are trying to foster this newfound relationship. In January 2023, Taliban signed a $540 million contract to extract oil through the Amu Darya Basin. In April 2023, a Chinese company showed interest in investing $10 billion in lithium and other rare earth minerals in the country. The year before that, in November 2022, China revived the Pine Nut Air Corridor, resulting in exports of over 1,000 tons to Beijing. And in December 2022, China implemented zero tariffs on 98% Afghan products. Now let's tell you why Kabul needs Beijing. Apart from the obvious reasons, Afghanistan, of course, is trying hard to get money from all sources, from wherever they can get so. They are, of course, getting UN aid, like I pointed out, to do regular business, but that's not enough. They do need the support of the world community. Afghanistan is also facing a weak economic situation. Money was frozen by the United States after Taliban's takeover. Kabul finally got some relief from Beijing, and majority of these investments were made by China. They are even considered only by China, which is why this friendship seems like the likely one, allies as they could be. But that's something that the world should be wary of, world should be concerned of, and India, of course, is closely monitoring all those developments. On that note, it's a wrap from my side. Brass Tacks coming up next.